Brothers and sisters and friends, this afternoon we want to talk about the ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet explains itself. We have a fight that's common to all of us. We suffer political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging.
Yo. Good morning. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Fresh edition is happening right now, 7 o'clock. If you believe in the concept of time, it is January the 27th, 2025. My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the God.
Hey.
What's going on? So how y'all doing this morning?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, everybody's good. I see people up early, Pops, in there before the show starts even. Say good Monday morning, First Sky. And mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you.
Okay.
Brooke Allen's in the chat saying good morning. And Mama God gives us a good morning. Appreciate it.
Fam checking in.
Yeah, man. Fam checking in this morning. Lake Easter says happy marvelous Monday. Appreciate that very much. Judy Prinzer says Monday is here. Yeah. How was y'all weekend? Tell us how the weekend went with you. Our weekend, my weekend was pretty busy. And I'm just happy that it's Monday and it's supposed to get up to about 45 today in Omaha. So
I'm seeing reports of it being unseasonably warm.
Yeah,
nice.
That's the phrase of the winter, ain't it? Unseasonably warm.
Yeah. Really quickly, speaking of the weather, I did want to ask Pops, man. I'm hearing reports of some of the smoke. Some of the LA fires making its way towards LA. I think there was some reports. Yeah, some videos I'm seeing swirling on social media of a few people saying they had to reach out to family members in Las Vegas to let them know that, to look out for some smoke coming over the horizon from the LA fires. Again, Paul, you might be able to speak more to it. Like how close is Vegas to that?
Well, yeah. I mean, I get back and forth about a 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive. So, and it's, open desert. So I can see smoke, as much smoke has been going on. So I can see it been pushing everywhere because, it's been a lot. So I'm hearing people two hours away from the LA epicenter that are still sick from smoke and wind.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah. So
yeah. Not to mention the chemicals from, everything burning. You never know what burned and all of that stuff. So
that's real.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I got family out in Vegas. So yeah, Pops, if you see anything, you hear anything, let us know.
No. Amy H. in the chat saying good morning. Appreciate that. Pops is saying good morning to the fam. Appreciate everybody that's jumped in and joined today. Do us a favor, share the show on your page so we can get as many people in the conversation as possible. And we have special guests today. Today is the beginning of the Senator Cypher.
Yeah, man.
So that's going to be, we're very excited about the Senator Cypher. We got the new dynamic duo coming. Senator Ashley Spivey, Senator Terrell McKinney, District 13, District 11. It's a huge swath of North Omaha, man. And that they are over. So I really am looking forward to seeing what they have to say and jumping into some of these bills this legislative session as well. So, yeah, man, special guests. Definitely stay tuned for that. They're going to be on now every other Monday, so we can kind of check in with them. So get your questions ready there. And, let's jump into it.
Yeah, what you got?
Yeah, I got a few things going on, man. I've been hearing a lot about this Target thing. Everybody's been crying about Target taking away DEI. But I've been hearing a lot of other stuff going on with this issue as well. People who are putting posts out saying, who do you think DEI affects? The majority of people in those jobs aren't people of color. So first of all, taking the jobs away is kind of affecting certain people. But what is it really doing? I mean, we've had some experience with Sharif Lararu, who was the president of the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation at one point, who had a DEI position over in OPS, and he got pretty much let go for doing his job. So that position ain't really never been for us in the first place in the big way. It kind of was performative. A lot of us felt like it was a performative kind of, hey, we have a DEI specialist now in our business, so we care, and all that good stuff. That's right. Something interesting that I saw that's been floating around, especially on Friends of First Sky Omaha, is the list of black businesses that Target in particular, they have a lot of black products. And we in the past have been like, hey, we should definitely make sure that we support black businesses. And if they get their products in Target and we're there anyway, There you go. So it's something to think about. If you want to boycott Target for taking away the DEI programs, then a lot of these black businesses might suffer. Then again, I can see us deciding that we need to quit spending our dollar in places that ain't thinking about us too. So big issue, and I can't wait to hear about what you have to say about it in the chat. Also on Friends of First Sky Omaha, just something that's been floating around a lot. So shout out to everybody who has been part of that. Also, we're still talking about the kids and youth at City View. There's still opportunity for you to donate some things. January 28th, 3 to 5:30 over at the Assembly of the Saints. They're taking items all the time, but this is a particular date that they're going to be really getting together, which is tomorrow. It looks like, right? Yeah, 28th.
Yep.
Wow. So definitely, if you have anything that you can donate here, definitely hook that up and make sure that we're taking care of those kids. There's also a City View relief I'm going to throw in the chat right now. If you want to just donate some cash to it, we know we have some friends at First Sky Omaha that are kind of putting some things together. So keep in mind, we're still raising some funds and also getting some supplies for some of the kids that are dealing with the City View thing. We'll be talking a lot more today about what's going on with these tenants groups in a big way too. So shout out to everybody who's been doing the work, and shout out to the people that got together to do this. Volunteers. They're doing a call for volunteers tomorrow as well, Tuesday the 28th at 2:30 to 6:30. According to Clarice, who is posted this on Friends of First Sky Omaha, it looks like they need a lot more volunteers. So we definitely want to make sure that we can do that. They need 30 more volunteers. Volunteers roles will be set up. Welcome committee, intake, companies or complaints, floater, note taker, and story collector, and some cleanup help as well. So Clarice Dombeck, who is heading this up, put a link. I'll put that in the chat as well. If you want to sign up and be a volunteer, they still need more, and they're calling on the community. So we want to make sure that we spread the word on that, get as many people out as possible on it. So shout out to Clarice for joining that team, and Sherman Wells with Untamed, and everybody who's behind the scenes on making that happen in a big way.
Looks like it's gonna be some grub in that situation too.
Yeah, we can't do nothing without no food in the house. Gotta go down. We're gonna be talking a lot about the bills today, since we got special guests, the new dynamic duo coming in for the Senator Cypher. But if you want to learn more about what's going on with the unicameral, this unicameral 101 looks interesting. It's happening today at 7 p.m. At the IBEW Community Room, 8938 L Street, hosted by Douglas County Democratic Party. So another opportunity for you to learn more about what's going on there. Highly recommend that you check it out and get as much knowledge as you can. We have a very unique situation here with the unicameral, as you guys know. And if you care anything about voting for your local elections and things that affect you, you probably ought to know how that works.
Big time.
Luckily, we have the new dynamic duo coming on through to let us know what's happening. So appreciate that very much. And that's pretty much it. There's a lot of other things going on. Community news. I highly encourage you to join the Friends of First Sky Omaha group page. And also, while we're at it, give us some suggestions on where else to gather besides the group page, because I have a feeling a lot of people are hitting me up saying they're coming off of Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram. They don't like what's going on with Mark Zuckerberg positioning himself as one of the oligarchs sitting next to Trump now, and he's taking fact checking away from the site and everything else. And I'm seeing a lot of people taking a stand. So we're keeping our eye on who's in, who we talking to. We've kind of been leaning towards YouTube in the first place, because we're just like Facebook has been real kind of sketchy over the past couple of years that we've been on it. And we definitely have our efforts pointed more towards the YouTube at this point. But let us know some of the other places that you're at, because we're always are keeping track of that and trying some new other spots out. Like we have a page on Blue Sky now. Yep. We definitely are pushing the fan base situation, right? Black owned social media platform that we are definitely on now. And we don't do too much on it, but we will do more on it. The more people that sign up, just kind of let us know what's going on there, if you would.
Yeah. Amy H kind of coming with the response that she's off of Facebook already, but still on Instagram. So.
Amy H died in the house. Good morning to you. Yeah, off.
It begins.
I've been hearing it, man. A lot of people that I was been surprised to hear have been jumping off. They're like, no more Facebook. So keep us posted. And you can always go to our website, First Sky Omaha at firstsky.omaha.com. Excuse me. And and you'll see some of the places that we're going to be at over there, and keep track of us there. And then also do not forget that we have the newsletter. This is the reason why we really implemented the newsletter, the weekly wrap. Because we really would love to be able to be in conversation with each other in our email inboxes, so that any shifts in social media doesn't affect us as much. So do us a favor, sign up to the weekly wrap if you have not. I'll also put that in the chat as well. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Buddy. We got lots to talk about today. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, there's definitely several things happening in the headlines, but I kind of am following your lead. I'm glad we're on the same page as far as this DEI situation. We'll be kind of having that conversation throughout the show and paying attention to, some of the conversations happening already on Friends of First Sky. Are we okay? A week into Trump, are we okay? So we'll be talking about that. But before that, I do want to ask that anybody make it to the State of North Omaha Summit that went down over the weekend. Big shout out to the Empowerment Network and all of the organizations that are a part of the network, because it really is a network. And also big shout out to Raquel Henderson, who was featured in this KMTV3 News article. Man, for y'all who don't know, Raquel Henderson is a powerhouse, especially speaking of jobs, Paul. Maybe some people are maybe losing their jobs or struggling to find a job in this new DEI climate or lack thereof. And Raquel is a sister who's always having leads on the jobs. So yeah, definitely tap in Raquel Henderson on Facebook. She does good work. And for those of you who weren't able to make it to the State of North Omaha Summit, there will be another one coming up in February. Let me get that date for you. And this one is definitely for those who might have some ideas. The summit that took place on Saturday was focused on hearing from officials and community partners. But according to this article from KMTV3, there's a next meeting on February 8th that will focus on the community's input, strategies, and solutions. So that means you. So again, if you have any ideas, especially those of you who have a lot to say about what the Empowerment Network is or isn't doing, this is your opportunity to chime up. So again, February 8th, definitely check it out. State of North Omaha Summit. And kind of one of the big takeaways, especially Sister Raquel talking about the organization and people coming together in the community and kind of seeing the impact of that. And I definitely, wanted to acknowledge and carry on what she's saying and give a shout out to, some organizations coming together, the likes of Untamed and Assembly of the Saints and several other organizations in the community, again, that are together. We can organize and we are stronger together. So big shout out to Sherman Wells, Paul, Assembly of the Saints, and everybody who's again a part of this whole City View situation. Sister Clarice Dombeck as well. Again, making some waves and getting some victories, if you will. Again, the inspections are still going. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Actually, today there will be inspections on the fire alarm system. So again, it is being reported that, of course, the video didn't lie. But now that the official inspection has taken place, it is being reported that 20% of City View building is under code violation, and if that is not brought up to code by the end of the month. So look at my calendar, in about less than a week, then the building will have to be vacated. So again, we still aren't hearing much about a plan, what to do with the tenants once they leave. But as you mentioned earlier, big shout out to Assembly of the Saints and everybody volunteering to make sure that those tenants at least have what they need in the moment. So again, if you have any clothes or anything that you'd like to donate, they are collecting that at Assembly of the Saints right there off of Ames, 24th and Ames. But also, tomorrow, as Paul mentioned, will be the barbecue. So again, if you want to volunteer for that, definitely show up. Again, going to be some food out there. They're going to be doing giveaways. Big shout out to everybody involved with this. That's huge. So let's keep that organizing going. And again, for those who can show up, please show up and support. Also, shout out to the tenants out there because it seems like there's a lot of movement, not just with the City View situation, but all renters throughout the Omaha area. There's been several areas, apartment buildings, different areas of the town that have people complaining. And according to this report from WOWT, there has been an uptick in renters unions, which is something that we've been talking about. Tenants union. Shout out to the likes of Tenants United, again, the Underwood Tenants Group, and several other tenants organizations that are again popping up around the area. So in this housing crisis, as a conversation around affordable housing continues, this is definitely something that we'll be paying attention to, and maybe even can get into a little later on with the senators, which will be joining us a little later on. As Paul mentioned, the new dynamic duo, Senators Ashley Spivey and Terrell McKinney, joining us to talk about some of the things as far as the bills in the legislature, especially in this era of Trump. Again, we are now under three branch control of the Republican Party in Nebraska. Again, under Pillen, the legislature is leaning heavily towards the Republican Party, and of course now our courts. And what does that mean under the new Trump regime? And we've seen some bills as far as the DEI things. Actually, Governor Pillen just signing an executive order to urge all government agencies to follow suit with the immigration policies. Also, some bills being presented in that regard. So a lot of things to look out for on that front. So we'll be talking about all that and more throughout the show. But in the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo.
What's the word?
Man, that's what's happening. Before we go to break, I just want to jump in the chat again. Brooke Allen in the chat is saying, sorry, yes, they come after Native community. I think we're back talking about Target a little bit. Everybody's kind of salty, feeling funny, real funny about Target doing what they're doing. I think people have an emotional attachment to Target a little bit. A lot of people are really addicted there. So
I think
also,
actually they're talking about DEI. They were talking about DEI, like who benefits. Yeah, they're talking about who benefits from DEI the most. Basically saying black folks are last on that list.
Okay, yeah. That's what I've been hearing. I've been hearing that. I've been seeing that floating around a lot. Pops says I have $0 going to Walmart or Target. He says they would not drop DEI if they thought our dollars would stop flowing their way. Again, we have to really kind of question what that DEI is for. Who is for? Who's it been benefiting? This, in the end, I mean, the idea is to be able to. A lot of people have been suffering. They've been saying people who are like people with disabilities have been suffering. Like Brooke is talking about the indigenous community, LGBTQIA plus people. There's so many different groups that have been benefiting from the fact that there's some diversity in the hiring. It's not just us. They said black folks are kind of last on the list when it comes to that. So who's this really affecting, and what's this really going to be? Even somebody even went so far to say on Friends of First Sky Omaha that this is weeding out the organizations who are saying they're doing something but not really doing stuff for the black community. So a couple different ways to look at it. Anthony Hart in the chat says we need to stop consuming things that are not necessary to our everyday health and well-being. Amy H. As we mentioned earlier, says I'm off FB already, off of Facebook, still on Instagram. Mama God in the chat says I don't use IG. I thought it was part of Meta. Just a question. Yeah, Meta entails Facebook and Instagram, and WhatsApp as well.
Really, I know that.
Yep. So lots to consider. If we're gonna jump off of Meta, we're jumping off of a few things for sure. Pop says I will be off of FB soon, off of Facebook soon, just like I'm off of X right now. He says I've joined Fanbase and I'm trying to learn Fanbase nuances now. Right on, Pops.
Okay, nice.
Wanda Lewis gives us a peace sign. What's going on? Good morning to you. Appreciate you. Gwen Easter gives us a good morning as well. And also Marianne Williams in the chat. Good morning. Says Costco shareholders voted against removing DEI policies. Yeah, we did see that. Some people were standing up a little bit on that.
Yeah, I think actually the Rev Al Sharpton in the group had a walk-in on Costco. They wanted to go support real quick. So yeah.
Well, again, is it all performative? It's still worth asking. Kimmer Snipes gives us a good morning, y'all. We're going to go ahead and jump into a break. Good morning, Kimmer. I appreciate you coming on in this morning. Please do us a favor. Share the show on your page so we can get as many people in the conversation as we can. We're going to take a quick break and come back and jump into a little bit of a discussion this morning. And then we're anticipating the dynamic duo, the new Senator Cypher, Senator Terrell McKinney, Senator Ashley Spivey, going to join us here pretty soon. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. First Sky Omaha in the morning. All B, buddy the guy. Be right back, y'all. Welcome back. First Guy Omaha in the morning. Paul B, buddy the guy.
Paul B.
All of you, appreciate everybody coming on in early this morning and chiming in the chat. Tell us how your weekend was. Anything interesting happened over the weekend? Did you make the Empowerment Network meeting? There was also a meeting, a meet and greet at the library, the branch, with the artists. So anybody show up to that? Shout out to everybody who got picked for that. Lots going on in the city, and it's about to get even better because the weather is going to be better this week. It's going to be up in the 40s and the 50s, and that really just if before I knew anything about seasonal depression, I was wondering why as soon as the sun came out, I would get ecstatic. Like, are you kidding? It's gonna be 50. Man. And I was like, man, if I'm this happy about it, I must have been real sad when it was cold. You know what I'm saying? That cold make you not want to get up and do nothing, bro. Like, I don't know about y'all, but that's how it affects me for real. So very happy that the weather's going to ease up here on us a little bit.
Hey, get out there, take advantage, live alive with each other, please. And take note the fact that we are out here going, okay, we can walk outside now. Don't take that for granted because, before we know it'll be too hot to do anything. So it's just the weather patterns here. Before we jump into the discussion, though, I want to pay homage to the folks that are in the chat. Speaking, Mama Guy says, keep an eye on HUD changes. GOP meeting in Florida soon to shake out changes. Talks of canceling vouchers, leaning towards landlord tax credit model. So this is some more warnings. I mean, we can sit here and do warnings about what the Trump administration is doing all day long and how our state is trying to follow suit so tough with it. So, Kimber says she made it to the Empowerment Network event. Yeah, please let us know how it went. What were some of the highlights? Love to hear your notes on that as well. Mama Guy says, I like the new YouTube look. Looks bright and pretty. Keep growing. All right, appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.
But yeah, I'm actually kind of going right along with what my Dukes is saying as far as you mentioned, the whole Trump effect and really looking at the Trump effect on Nebraska. And that is something that I wanted to set up and get into with our senators, because that is the climate in which they have to do their work. And I'm just curious about their thoughts and how they're viewing this thing. And really, as you mentioned, there are threats that people are looking at. There's, talk about Trump supporting anti-abortion policies and what that means for legislatures and states across the nation. But there's also things that aren't just threats anymore. They're actually realities, kind of like this whole immigration situation. Again, if this isn't a red flag as to how Nebraska and the Republicans that run Nebraska, let's just call it what it is, will follow suit along Trump, then I don't know what is. Again, this is being reported by KETV. Nebraska governor signs executive order to establish support for federal immigration policy implementation. This means that a document demonstrates Nebraska's alignment with the new federal immigration policy and provides guidance to state agencies for carrying out provisions contained in the president's recently issued executive orders. In detail, actions state agencies should take to align the state with the executive order. Again, Trump's executive actions include having asylum seekers waiting in Mexico and finishing the border wall. But the one at the forefront included his promise to mass deport at least 11 million people in the country illegally. He also wants negotiations with state and local governments to deputize police to enforce immigration laws. Not only that, but there's also been a bill introduced or proposed, this is kind of the word I'm thinking of, that also leans on employers. Actually, let me get the actual document of this bill, because it's very interesting, just the climate that we're in right now and what this means for Nebraska and how people are following suit with Trump. Apparently there's a new program that forces employers to basically document their potential workers and to check their status, and if they don't, that there will be heavy fines and penalties for these employers. So again, it's not just DEI, it's immigration, it's abortion, it's the whole Trump policy. And I don't know, is this Project 2025 in action? You tell me.
think a lot of people have been saying that too. In the zeitgeist right now, they've been saying, well, he's been saying he's going to do all these things. So why are you surprised these things are being done? And a lot of us are not surprised. I find a lot of my white friends are very surprised about how some of those things are affecting them, which they didn't know. I watched a whole series of videos yesterday on people talking about DEI and asking certain people in the Trump team Trump, about what DEI meant, and they basically said it means black people. and so they are absolutely looking at this like he's making an effort to do that. He's pulling back a bunch of different things too. He's pulling back, he wants to take away all days, all celebrations, and all holidays that have to do with people of any other race besides white. There's a whole bunch of stuff he's doing, he's suggesting to do and trying to push to do. And DEI was just kind of the first one, and everybody kind of jumped on it. But there's a whole bunch of stuff behind the scenes he's trying to work to try to eliminate any kind of equality. It's just what it is. So I think it's really interesting, like what people are talking about in the chat. Real quick, Anthony Rogers Wright is saying, interesting that folks are so focused on immigration now under Trump, but many of these folks were quiet when Biden was deporting more people and denying more asylum seekers than Trump. Well, I'd like to see some I'd like to see some documentation on that, actually, because this ain't the first presidency that we have to deal with Trump. What happened during the first presidency and what's going on now, I think might overshadow a whole lot of stuff that he even did in the first time, or even had the power to do, or the backing to do the first time, because it's not just about Trump, it's about the three branches of government that are supporting all these ideas in the first place.
Man, my thoughts exactly.
Marlon Harrison says, I mean, none of this is surprising. Project 2025 talked about all this, so why are people surprised by this? Like I said, I think some people are surprised that they didn't think it was going to affect them, and a lot of these things are kind of affecting them. So, yeah.
When especially when your state follows suit, like, if you had a governor and you had a kind of state situation that maybe had a little more sense, then you could be insulated from some of these things.
There you go.
No, here we are.
Michelle Moreno in the chat says, I love my Costco. People love where they want to shop, bro. It's kind of, I've seen some people really heartbroken over the Target thing, but it's definitely worth talking about. Tony Johnson in the chat says the best offense is a good defense. Okay. Interesting. Okay,
I like that idea.
Yeah. So expound on that. Yeah. Anthony Rogers Wright is giving us an article from the BBC, probably talking about the amount of people that have been deported under Biden. Also, a lot of people have been deported under Obama as well. So
yeah. I mean, it's been a long history. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm having a little technical difficulty here. Okay.
Okay, you good?
Yeah, we're all good.
Okay. It's like Uncle Paul on FaceTime saw your forehead. Hello, can you see me?
Are we back? We back working? Go ahead.
I did want to acknowledge something on the DEI situation as far as the Target. Actually, a chat chimer mentioned something on Friends of, as far as going directly to those businesses and supporting through their website, because actually the profit margin might be higher if you buy directly from these black businesses rather than whatever Target takes off the top. Because Target's going to take a cut. So maybe support these businesses directly if you want to actually support, and they might get a little more loot.
Well, that's easier said than done. If you at Target all the time and it's just there, then it's real easy to do. I mean, that's a lot of brands, right there. Yeah, and not just convenience, but having to search through all these different companies. I mean, we have put up a black business directory for local Omaha. If you Friends of First Sky Omaha is pinned at the top, and there's a lot of businesses there. But it does take a little bit of a situation where you got to kind of do that extra work of seeking them out. And a lot of businesses don't have websites up ready to be, doing that kind of delivery and so on. It's a lot, but I highly suggest we take the hit in order to kind of support the business and just learn how to do things differently. It's inconvenience. Or you can look at it as an inconvenience or just like how we got to do things now, which is, I think we're getting ready to get forced to be able to have to do stuff like this all the time because of what's going on with this administration. So, I think it's crazy. Kimmer Snipe says, I don't see how anyone surprised by Target. The price is not enough for me. I was never a big fan. Marianne Williams says the ACLU just released a report saying on the Biden
Admins.
admin plans to increase detainment buildings with private prison companies. Yep.
Okay.
I mean, we do know each administration is doing some of the same work. That's why not a lot of us are surprised. This is something that is not really surprising a large part of our community, just because we've been dealing with this stuff for a long time already. Shout out to Black Dynamite saying good morning. Kimber Snipes says the little bit of extra work is worth it to me. I heard that. Marianne Williams says Project 2025 has been in the implementation stage in the states for decades. Look at the state bills that have been proposed and passed. I remember last season we talked a lot about how the Democratic Party was doing a whole lot towards this 2025. Like I said, none of this is new to us. This has been going on. Marlon Harrison says the difference between Obama and Biden and Trump is that Obama and Biden didn't call these people criminals, separate families, and didn't tell ICE to go into schools and churches. Yeah, they didn't. They did a little bit of separating of the families, though. I mean, a lot of the little Mexican kids in cages on the border happened during Biden administration. I mean, yeah, what they call them, how they speak about them may be different, but everybody they're after the same thing: white supremacy. They're all after both parties after the same thing to remain in power. Yeah. So
and again, the usual knock against Democrats, especially like Biden and Obama, is their war, the war resume as far as a rampant drone use, especially under Obama, and of course we all know the billions and billions of dollars spent under Biden for human rights violations. Let's just call it what it is. So yeah, nobody's perfect. Nobody has clean hands.
There you go. We're going to keep on with the conversation while we're waiting on our special guest to come through. It is 7:32 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, I like the fact that you guys are actually wanting to be in this discussion about this, because this has been coming up. We hadn't really had a chance to talk to people about, like, how are you feeling now that these things have happened. And what brings back my opinion about the situation is that, I kind of lean more towards what the Black Agenda Alliance talk about all the time, because this fight is ongoing. We can go back and forth all the time about who's doing what administration and so on and so forth, but we have to deal with things from both administrations, from all of the administrations that happen, and it always comes down to we got to do something for us, and we got to take care of what we got to take care of.
Man,
and to me, that's where my energy and focus wants to go, instead of really kind of rehashing. I mean, it's good to know the game. It's good to know what's on the board here, so we can figure out how to play the game better. But don't get mad. It's a game. Play the game to the best of your ability, and best thing for us is to really kind of take care of each other, and we're gonna have to. We're just gonna have to. We doing it now. The price of food and stuff is so high. People are sharing food and stuff in between households and all kinds of stuff. Like,
there you go.
We're doing it now.
And I think that's kind of the sentiment from the State of North Omaha Summit. That's the whole tagline of the Empowerment Network. Again, is to empower and rebuild the village, and having that village concept. And I do think that, this might be a controversial statement, but I'll stand on it, man. In this whole DEI conversation, this whole era of DEI, quite honestly, I think, so what about the DEI? I think integration was one of the worst things that happened to our community. I think that we should actually focus on building for ourselves and coming together and building our own communities where we are concentrated and not letting ourselves spread out. I mean, you look at other areas around the nation, you have, man, just look around. Look at the power of South Omaha. This is we're letting North Omaha slip away. We're losing North Omaha in front of our very eyes.
Well, and it's not just the loss of North Omaha, but the fact that the Black community especially has been spread out all through Omaha. Yep. And there's still problems in North Omaha, but a lot of other groups now are there, but they're dealing with the same problems. There are neighbors too. They're still there. dealing with things, and we just, and we all are in the same boat when it comes, because it's really about the caste system and this economic hierarchy, and the way things go is kind of more poor people against what the people who are the ruling class here, really. And it's, we always got to kind of take what we can get, and do what we can do, not just take care of ourselves, but even the people that want to fight the political game. We talk about this all the time. Anthony Rogers, right? We talk about a third party. We talk about the independent party, an actual independent party. We've been hearing this from our civil rights leaders and Black Panther Party and everybody since way back in the day. Like, if we don't fight politically in the same kind of way, instead of joining and trying to fight from the inside, which we see never really works too well. We have to kind of also fight. If you're in that political fight, then you're going to have to, like, put your efforts behind a third party and really kind of push and do what you got to do in order to change some things on that level too. But before any of those changes happen, we got to build what we got to build for us and take care of ourselves now. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I'm gonna jump back in the chat a little bit. As a matter of fact, I just got a message from Senator Ashley Spivey. Not gonna make it. She's under the weather here. So
Okay.
yeah, shout out to her. Feel better. Yeah.
Get well soon.
Please get well. It ain't no joke. It ain't no joke. Feeling sick like that. So please get well soon. We'll see if Senator Terrell McKinney can join us today too. But going along with the discussion, I'm definitely seeing people in the chat that are reaching out. Really appreciate everybody doing that. Black Dynamite gives us a good morning. Seeing that already. Kimmer Snipe says a little bit of extra work is worth it. Marianne Williams saying Project 2025. Did I go through this already? It has been in the implementation stage in the space for decades. Yep. Appreciate that. Also, Mama God in the chat says, just buy their products only as a thought. I don't do Target. Yeah, man, it's really interesting, this Target thing. I never really understood, like, how much people were so about Target or others people were so against it. Like, where you shop is almost a representation of who you are in a lot of ways. It's really interesting. Also, Tony Johnson says, goes along with the comment about Project 2025, telling what exactly their plan. Good defense would have been addressing this through an opposing playbook, for lack of better terms. Okay. Marianne Williams says Biden didn't call them criminals. He treated them that way, though. Yeah, most definitely. I'll never forget Biden was a part of that administration that put 3 strike laws in California back in the day, and they got family that are in jail right now dealing with that mess. Also, Mama Guy says, moving from integration. Anthony Rogers Rice says it's really is time to stop idolizing Obama as some kind of Negro savior. He was a war criminal and a neoliberal piece of pork. Okay. That's pretty. It's pretty. That's kind of attacking a little bit. We don't really appreciate that too much. So kind of, if that's how you feel about it, that's cool. But let's not attack, if you will. Also, Gwen Easter in the chat is saying, so if a lot of people have been devoted under Barack Obama, Biden, what's the difference when Trump does it? People need to come to America legally, like other foreign do. Why should illegals be treated differently? Yes, they did separate families. Those children who came as her as children before they started cracking down should be allowed to be American citizens, but it's not their fault. Parents broke the law. Okay, so we got some differing opinions here in the chat on a few things. Interesting. Appreciate everybody who's going back and forth on this, and we'll have to kind of look through the chat here and go back and check it out.
Chat's going off. Chat's going off in the right way.
Right. But in the meantime, between time, we're going to go ahead and bring our special guest into this, waiting in the wings. Ladies and gentlemen, so happy to be talking to this brother again. Senator Terrell McKinney in the house. What's going on, bro?
Yeah. What's up, bro? How y'all doing?
Welcome back, man. How you doing?
Yeah.
Doing good, man.
That's what's up. Senator Spivey hit us up and said she can't make it. She's not feeling under the weather, so she's not gonna make it today. So we got you, but really appreciate it, man. Been anticipating you coming back on the show and all that good stuff. How you been over the break? Did you get a little time to do something fun?
No, I mean, just coaching and just started the session and just getting back into the flow of things. So I don't know if it's fun. Coaching is fun. Coaching the kids is fun, and getting back into the session is fun too. Interacting with new colleagues and just getting getting my head back in the space to just back to fighting. So I mean, it's fun. You take the good with the bad with that.
Right.
What's
You
the, what's
definitely just gonna say you definitely hit the ground running, been very active in some of the bills. Go ahead, Paul. You had a
I was just
specific question?
wondering what the climate was there, if it with
My
the
thoughts
new
exactly.
administration.
Yeah. Like, how's it changed? Like, what's the difference?
I mean, it's not a huge difference. I mean,
Okay.
it's a little different. You could tell that a lot of people like feel like slightly emboldened. So that might be different. But as far as like a difference, it's not too big of a difference because a lot of the stuff they were trying to do last year and the year before. So it's not too much difference. It's just some people might feel slightly more emboldened, but it ain't too much.
Okay. With the kind of the Republican lean in the legislature and the filibuster situation where it is now, you don't feel like it's more of an uphill battle, or does that impact how you're kind of attacking bills?
I mean, it was always an uphill battle. Like, just to be honest, I mean, we still
It's
could
Nebraska.
filibuster. I mean, we still could filibuster bills. It's just the vote count. It's the vote count. That's the thing.
Right.
And like, really, that only comes to a factor like on about like 15 to 10% of the bills. Like, yes, those are super controversial, but when you look at the votes in the legislature, about 80% of the bills are like bipartisan.
Okay.
It's or 85% or something. Like it comes down to those controversial bills where the vote count really matters the most. But I mean, we could filibuster. We still could take time. That they can't take that away from us. Like we still can stand up and speak how much we want. So they ain't took it. They can't take that away. It's just the vote count. And I mean, we still got to fight. I mean, that at the end of the day, it's just got to be that way. But I mean, they do technically have the majority, but it is what it is.
Right.
I mean,
it definitely sounds. Go ahead.
I guess coming from where I come from, I never like operate like I'm like just because somebody is perceived to have like an advantage that I'm supposed to lose. I never look at it that way. I never
There you
walk
go.
into a situation that way. So I'm always thinking of a way to win. So I don't ever feel like I'm going to lose, no matter if somebody is supposed to have an advantage. For me, I'm always thinking of ways to win. I don't. I'm not. I don't feel like I could be defeated.
There you go, man, and that's why you in the that's why you where you at. I know we really appreciate that, and we have seen that fighting spirit already in this legislative session. Excuse me. Paul actually was bigging up you and Senator Ashley Spivey and Medicine Song or Nature Song, who are down at the Capitol speaking up on behalf of our young folk, getting ready to gear up for that fight. And then, of course, we've been talking about DI and things like that. So, I guess, what are some of the bills that you're really excited about, or maybe not excited is the right word, but just focused on right now?
I mean, for me, I introduced 20 bills and then 10 other bills in the Urban Affairs Committee. I mean, I'm excited about them all, to be honest with you. Probably the highlight for me, this youth employment bill, neighborhood empowerment bill. I'm doing this redlining bill, task force bill, some juvenile related bills, family resource bills. A lot of my stuff just goes back to just trying to help our people and trying to empower our people. That's my biggest focus. Police accountability as well. All of the things that we was hearing over the interim about like making sure we hold the cops accountable, banning no-knock warrants, making sure we get special prosecutors in grand jury situations when in officer involved deaths. So stuff like that is what I'm excited about, because that's the stuff that I know the community has been asking for. So, and then in urban affairs, I introduced a bill to make sure like OHA is taking care of the bed bug situation. And also I introduced a bill to try to give the city council more power to hold OHA accountable. So it's just different things I'm excited about. I have no idea what my priority bill is going to be, but we'll see. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I was just thinking while you were talking about all these different bills, and I was kind of thinking about the situation of how which bill. So in the strategy of the all the bills that you're doing, first of all, I just want to thank you for putting those things together, because all this on the surface fighting that we're doing and trying to get folks together to be able to help stuff like the kids at City View and so on and so forth, all that stuff that's happening, you also are right along with us on a different level, trying to make some change on that level as well. And that your stuff you're doing is some lasting changes in a big way. I see Kimra Snipes was in there saying, thank you again, Senator, especially for Bill LB 702. She was really about the neighborhood bill there. She made a post
Yeah.
talking about exciting news for neighborhoods across Nebraska. So definitely check this out over in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Check out Miss Kimra Snipes' uh, statement there about that, because this is just really goes to show you the stuff that each of us are passionate about. You seem to have a bill for, and that's really really interesting. So now I'm wondering a little bit about the bills. With all the bills that you have, is there a strategy that you have with those bills? Are there some bills that you feel like are going to go? Some bills you're introducing you feel like won't get a lot of traction. What's your strategy for those bills, and how can we be a part of that strategy?
I mean, my strategy is number one to get them in the door. Two, to try to get people down there to speak on why they're so important, and just find different avenues to get those passed. Whether this long session or during a short session, because we technically, if you introduce a bill this year, you got 2 years to get it passed. So
Okay.
I just working the system, seeing if I could get bills attached to other things and those type of things. So it's just finding different pathways depending on what committees that the bills get sent to. So just looking at like whatever I could get them, however I could get them across without giving up anything.
There you
Okay.
go.
Mhm.
I did want to kind of expand on this neighborhood bill. I'm glad you brought that up, Paul. Just again, that's one that you said you're excited about. Obviously, Kimra is excited about, and speaking of the strategy, I do think that is a bill that we could all kind of rally around and work together to push. But what are kind of the details? Like, what is the Neighborhood Empowerment Act? Like, what does that entail?
The purpose of that bill was to give some resources back to our neighborhood associations and our neighborhood alliances. I went to Europe last May, and I was speaking to some of their like city council people and neighborhood people there, and they were like, "Yeah, our government gives our neighborhood associations resources, unrestricted funds to do whatever to organize people in the community." And I just was like, "What? We don't do that." And I was like, when I get back home, that's something I'm going to explore, and I'm probably going to introduce a bill on that. So that's where I got it
Nice.
from. It's like I went over to Europe and they were doing it, and I was like, we need to do that here. And talking to Kimura, and we just was bouncing ideas off of each other, and then I got it drafted, and that's the purpose of it, is just try to get resources back to the community and our neighborhood association so they could work on just different workshops in the community, different initiatives, just to bring community back to community. Because I think that's overall what's missing, and why a lot of the times we feel like we're behind so much, because we're not being proactive. Yeah.
Man, big time, big
I
time.
hear that. I want to jump in the chat here. We only got a couple of minutes left in the interview here, but there's a couple of people asking about some specific stuff. Mama Guy in the chat is saying, do you think Fed reversals on banning chokeholds and no knock will negatively affect or influence your no knock in Nebraska? That's interesting. Federal reversal on it. Okay.
I mean, no, because the police was always gonna fight my bill no matter what. So I mean, I would say no. I mean, they might feel more empowered by it, but I know, because they was gonna come in saying it shouldn't pass anyway. I
Right.
don't think so.
Yeah, I hear that. Also, Anthony Rogers Wright is asking, can the senator speak to why there are 4 separate medical marijuana bills? You know anything about that?
Mainly, well, I introduced mine because nobody was introducing one to talk about social equity and to make sure that people who were disproportionately disadvantaged by negative marijuana laws were being taken care of. So that's why I introduced my bill, to make sure that, our people weren't left behind when they started implementing this stuff. and making sure that, you know, it was some parameters set up and making sure we were a part of those conversations, because none of those bills talk about equity at all except for mine.
Okay, that's interesting. One more. Tony Johnson is asking, any bills introduced by your fellow senators impacting local or public media in Nebraska?
Not that I can think of, but no, not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay. Something else we'll talk about at some point. Before we let you go here, anything that in particular that's happening right now, like this week, that you need some people to support or defend or fight?
We got urban affairs this week on Tuesday. We got a few bills. One bill is to take away the 2-mile restriction on the airport business park, to let it be developed anywhere within the Inland Port Authority area. On Thursday, I got a bill hearing for residential clean slate for people with evictions on their record. And then Friday, I have a bill to, ban the death penalty constitutional amendment hearing in Judiciary Committee.
You got a lot of work ahead of you, bro.
man, getting busy.
Sounds like you're ready for the fight, though. We appreciate you.
Definitely, man. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll talk soon, bro. We got some other things in the works for this season. We appreciate that you're going to come on to the show every other week for the season, but we also going to have some stuff that we're going to do off the show in order to kind of dig in a little bit further, man. I really want to kind of get to the strategy this season with what it is that we can do and go and talk to you about, the conversations that you're having there. Or do you find that you're going to get more support for some things than other things? And if you need a little bit of push, and maybe we can be the ones that help push, So just kind of more talking about strategy this time around and figuring things out in order to really kind of dig in. So appreciate you. Anything you want to leave us with before you take off?
No, man, just everybody keep grinding. I know it's a lot of stuff on the table, and I heard the conversation about, the stuff with Trump and all that stuff. Like, honestly, not surprised by it. I don't think anybody should be surprised. They told us what they was going to do, and that's what they doing. I think as people, we just got to make sure we continue to communicate, talk to each other, stay organized, and making sure we got a plan for when they start coming after us more aggressively, because they will eventually. That's the biggest thing. It's just us, staying focused and making sure we communicate and stay organized within each other in our community and stay united. We can't let people divide us.
Word up.
Big time.
Dropping the mic on that. Appreciate you coming through, bro. We'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you.
All right.
Peace and love.
Peace. All right. Love it. Always a pleasure talking to that brother right there, man, for real.
Yeah, man.
We'll take a quick break and we'll come right back and jump into the rest of the broadcast here. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddy the Guy. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddy the Guy, getting set up for the mix. We appreciate everybody that joined us this morning. I highly suggest you go back and check out what's going on in the chat. Lots of stuff being talked about in the chat. I appreciate that very much. Pops in the chat says, yep, it's really rich versus poor. The rest was created as sleight of hand distractions, so we won't notice what's actually going on. That includes race. We talk about this all the time. Race was invented because of that. They needed to have some of those kinds of separations there, and that's what it is. Cheryl Weston in the chat, good morning, is saying, I appreciate all the broadcasts you've been doing, Miss Weston. I've been learning a lot from the stuff that you do. I definitely highly go check out Conversations with Cheryl Weston and get some knowledge there. She says, appreciate you keeping us updated on the bills, talking about Senator McKinney. I appreciate that too very much, and I really appreciate everybody that has that is asked for them back. They love the segment of the Senators coming back and kind of showing what's going on. So appreciate it very much. Man, it sounds like Buddy ready to roll here. So I'll tell you what, we're gonna get out of here and jump into the mix with Buddy the God. Go ahead and get your groove on and start your morning off right. That's right. Buddy the God, happening now.
Everybody just trying to make a living. Good morning, y'all.
I'm only coming out to play. Nothing more that I hate in this life. The wrong impression, I only have one to make. You can open your palm, waiting to catch a break. The cards will fall where they may. And what about me? I believe in fate. They wanna know where I'll be in 5. But what about today? What about tonight? Only one at a time. So precious. It's yours, it's mine. Only one at a time. My life, yeah. Am I wrong to assume if she can't dance, then she can't ooh? Yeah. Am I wrong to say if she can't dance, then she can't ooh? Hey, I never wanna waste your time. My life, so precious. Is yours, is mine. Hey, look at the time. My God, so precious. Is yours, is mine. Only one at a time. So precious. Is yours, is mine. Only one at a time. My life, yeah.
Spells around the clock, heads around the globe. We disco 54. I stare at you in the eyes, spin you on your toes.
Check it out. Appreciate everybody joining us today. Please join us Wednesday. We're going to have another special guest coming on through. Really appreciate everybody that jumped into the chat today. Chat kind of went off. I highly suggest you go back and check out what's going on in the chat. If you miss any of the show and if you miss any parts of this show, you can go back and check it out in its entirety on YouTube. And definitely check out YouTube. And there's some comments on Facebook as well. There's a lot less people on Facebook these days, but I will say that there's still some comments on Facebook you should definitely go check out as well and engage. Always check us out on Friends of First Sky Omaha as well, as where the conversation continues. And I just put in the chat the link to the weekly wrap, which is really where we're trying to steer everybody as well. The website, firstskyOmaha.com, and the weekly wrap newsletter. So we can kind of bypass all this drama with the social media channels anyway. I will still be back in the social media channels. So we'll still be doing stuff here. This is where we got to meet people where they're at. And so let us know about which social media channels you're jumping to. If you're going to jump out of Meta, jump out of Facebook, we would really like to know that. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. We want to give a shout out to the Umaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to you, the chat chimers, coming on in this morning and allowing us to speak with you on these subjects as well. Lots more going on. We're definitely looking for people to help with keeping track of some of these bills as well. If you want to volunteer with us, hit us up at firstskyOmaha@gmail.com. We're still trying to build that army of citizen journalists. And we'll talk more about what's going on with that soon too. News Gang. That's right. It's going down. Thanks a lot. We really appreciate everybody who's joined us today. We're going to get out of here. You guys take care of yourselves. Stay cool. We'll see you Wednesday. Peace.
By the way, Van Glory